Knowles, morning.
Morning, Chair.
I was just testing whether did I win to log in? It's fine. Thank you.
Yes, you're in, Chair. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable members. I'm just testing my sound and camera.
Morning.
Good morning, good people. Good morning, Chair.
Morning, Honorable Raji. How are you?
I'm very well, honorable Chair. And how are you feeling today?
Aye, much better.
That's good. Always good to hear that.
Yeah.
I see we have just one small item on the agenda, so I don't think we should be very long.
Only if you manage yourself, Raji.
I will control myself. Maximum control, maximum discipline.
Danko.
Anything for you, Chair.
We will see, Chair. We will see.
Don't provoke
We
me.
will see.
Do not provoke me. That is all. I beg of you.
Chairperson, we will see.
Do
I
not provoke.
I want to see that maximum discipline today.
Okay, sure.
I trust you, Honorable Raji.
Recording in progress.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, honorable members. All of you, I can see already on the screen. I saw someone reflecting acting DG. We are all welcome, members and our officials from the department. It's exactly 10 o'clock. I believe already they've started to live stream us. And I want to take this opportunity and appreciate all of you, in particular members and the support staff. In my absence, because of my ill health, you still keep on and do the work of Parliament. But without wasting much, Nols, can you reflect the agenda? Even though members has it, can we reflect it on the screen? With these few words, I want to say welcome everybody. As you have indicated today, Honorable Reddy, we only have one item, but then it's on the agenda. It's not one item. The main purpose for today it's item number 4. That is the main that I feel you were referring to. But nevertheless, let me move to the next item. I can see already, Honorable Reddy, you have raised your hand. But you said
Yes.
you're going to exercise your maximum discipline. I'm not sure, but let me give you an opportunity to
Thank you.
raise what you want to
Yes.
raise.
Thank you very much, Chair. I just wanted to raise an issue that was tabled at the programming committee and that is subsequently being adopted in the different portfolio committees. And that's with respect to presentations. When a presentation has been submitted previously, prior to the meeting, it is expected that members would have read through the presentation, and presenters are urged by the chairperson not to go into detail with the presentation. The presentation will be taken as read, and key points of the presentation will be highlighted. The chairperson will give the presenter so many minutes, 10 minutes or so, to just merely point out the key points, and thereafter committee members engage. The idea is to allow for the members of portfolio committees to engage on reports more than presenters speaking to the items. I just thought I should make that point, Chair. It will also help in speeding up the length of our meetings. That's part of my disciplinary comment for today. Thank you.
Thanks for the guidance. I believe you are referring that I've lost the touch of chairing a meeting because it has been long, but it's fine.
No, never. I will never do that. I'm very, very proud of the way you conduct these meetings, Chair. I want to record that. Thank you.
No, thanks. Let me go straight to the next item as guided by Honorable Reddy. Nols, apologies. Nola, can you give us the apologies that you have received officially?
Thank you, Chair. Apologies about that. I was trying to remove the agenda on the screen. We have an apology from Honorable Nati Ngumalo, who was unable to attend today's meeting. And then from the department side, the minister is unable to attend this meeting. He has submitted an apology. The DG is also overseas, so is also not able to attend today's meeting. I'm just trying to get to the minister's apology, Chair, to find the reason. But I think he's also overseas with the DG because they were on the same trip. Let me just quickly establish. But there's an acting DG today who is Mr. Mahlangu. So yeah, oh no, the minister is attending a cabinet meeting. So I wanted to give the correct reason. I've just established that now, Chair. Thank you very much.
I wanted to correct that actually, to say the reason is always the same. It has never changed. We were aware of that. I believe members were not expecting a miracle. But honorable members, there are the apologies as we do always. It's upon the House to accept or reject 3 apologies. The DGs at overseas already has sent. I'm not sure from the side of the DM. Did I see the DM on the platform? Can we get an indication whether do we have a DM on the platform or the entire executive is not available?
Chair, I don't see the DM on the platform, and neither have I received any apology from his office. Thanks, Chair.
I think I got. I'm trying to also check. I think I got an indication that shows that says even the DM is overseas. I think DG went with the DM, if I'm not mistaken. But let's not register that because officially did not come. But I can't remember well. But if there's, do you have a PLO of the DG, the DM on the platform?
Si's just joined now, Chair. Maybe if you can rehearse what you were saying earlier.
Who has just joined now?
Yes, Chair.
The DM's PLO.
Oh, Msa?
Good afternoon, Chair. My apologies. I don't know what happened. We sent the apology that the DM is out on an officially approved trip. I will check on my side what has happened. We do humbly apologize by that, but would correct it just now. We'll check with our IT.
Okay. Can we, members, there are 4 apologies. I can see the hand of Honorable Bath.
Can I come in quickly, Chair?
Yes.
It's good to see you, Chair. You're looking and sounding a lot better. Chair, I was going to say that I actually think I saw that our deputy minister was climbing the Great Wall of China. If my social media was showing me correctly, so yeah, Chair, it was just a request. I know that the last time we met physically, you raised there was a discussion around you taking something forward to, I think, the House Chair's office, or to the Speaker's office, around scheduling and trying to resolve that issue. If there's any feedback, Chair, I don't know if you have any, but something else that I noticed, Chair, just for your attention and in general, having read through a couple of our minutes over the past couple of meetings, I just personally find the recommendations that are in there to be quite vague. And I think as a committee, for us to be able to monitor what it is that we resolve and what it is that we set as resolutions to take forward, if maybe we can just try and make them a bit more explicit so that we can go back to those and make sure that as a committee we are actually achieving the things that we're setting out to achieve. I just noticed they're very vague, and I believe in the 6th administration, I wasn't there, so I can't confirm, there used to be a resolutions register that was used by the committee to see what we decided on, what we discussed on, issues we said we were going to take up, and then I think that was used to manage how and what was done by the committee. So just a recommendation to you, Chair, we can take it later, but maybe we need to look at doing something similar to that as this committee. That's all from our side, Chair. I accept the apologies.
Do you have a seconder on the side of apology before I respond?
Chair, just to clarify, I've just been reminded that the minister is actually presenting in a cabinet meeting today. So I just got a reminder from the PLO. Thank you.
Can I get indication from members? Bath has moved for adoption. Do we have
Marais,
any?
second.
Honorable Marais, do you have any contrary view from members? In the absence of none, then apologies have been adopted. Mankosi?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Good morning to your good self, and we are really appreciate that we see you today, and we are happy that you are with us today. And good morning to the colleagues, the members of the Portfolio Committee, as well as the support staff. Honorable Chair, I'm not going to say that I'm supporting the apologies or what, but I just want to indicate that the apologies, especially on the side of the minister, I'm having a serious problem with his apology. Every time he's not part of our meeting, despite the executive meeting that they are having. But he don't bother to attend our meetings all the time. To me, it's a serious problem, I must indicate, irrespective of the cabinet meeting or what. But because he indicated that he's no longer going to attend our portfolio committee because we don't give him a chance to respond to the issues, to me, it's not quite sitting well with me that all the time the minister will not be part of our meetings. I understand the DM and others because the DM is always with us all the time. So that is why I just want to register that concern that the minister per se, he doesn't respect this portfolio committee, irrespective of what. Thank you.
Honorable Raji.
Chair, I do not want to belabor the point and waste the time of the committee, but I want to agree with the previous speaker, and this is certainly not politics. I've often raised the issue of the presence of ministers in portfolio committees. Now, this particular minister, it takes every opportunity to start politicking on issues. In the last plenary, he did the very same thing. And he sometimes forgets that he is a minister with the way he responds to key critical issues where he's expected to be objective. And he often does this. He plays the man and not the ball. Now, I think as a minister, he needs to conduct himself in a more professional manner. I mean, if you compare the deputy minister, for example, he doesn't behave like the minister the way he behaves. It's obviously is inexperienced. Obviously, just having the chick also has a part to play in the whole thing.
Yeah,
but I
person,
think
can we please move forward on this? I mean, Chair, can we stop wasting people's time like the Honourable already has requested?
Sorry, Honourable
I just
Bart.
think that we are all tired
Honourable
of the same story every
members,
committee
wait.
meeting.
Honourable Bart, let's
Honorable
record.
Bart,
Let it be recorded.
Honorable Raji.
Yeah.
Can we give each other a chance? All of us, we've got a right to raise whatever that we feel. It must be raised in a proper manner. We all know the rules of the House. Whatever that you do in a plenary, it becomes the same. There's nothing to change. I'm just saying, if you want to call an order, you call an order in a proper way. I could see the next speaker that will follow, I can see on the platform, it's Honorable Murray. Honorable Bath, don't interject in that manner. Raise a hand or you just call an order, then I'll recognize you. Ready, as you wrap up, can you proceed?
So I just want that to be recorded, the view of the committee, and that's all. I hear Honorable Bart, and I know where he's coming from, but I think we would all agree as members here that the minister needs to prioritize this committee and make this, now we have him as well as the deputy minister not here. And I agree with the previous speaker where he has mentioned before that he feels it's a wasted effort coming to the committees. And I don't think that should be his attitude. I thank you, Chairperson. And my apologies, Honorable Bart, if I had offended you.
Honorable Murray, I saw your hand, or is it a legacy hand? Then
Thank you, Thank you, Chairperson. I think what is necessary is clarity, because what's applicable to the one minister is applicable to all the ministers. So maybe they should find clarity if a minister should attend at least one portfolio meeting per month. What is applicable to the one is applicable to all the other cabinet ministers. So if we can get clarity in this regard, either from the speaker or even the president's office, because obviously when there's a cabinet meeting, they've been expected to attend. But I think if we get clarity, then because if there's an absence in our case, there's also absence at all the other portfolio committees. So if we can get clarity, I would request you as the chair to get clarity on this matter, what is applicable to all cabinet ministers. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mare. Bath, you'll follow. Then Mlule Gidlelange, you'll be the last one. Allow me, honorable members, to call Dlelange to be the last one on this item.
Sure. Thank you so much, Chair. And I think, Honorable Reddy, no need to apologize. I'm not offended at all. I think you, just as much as everyone on this meeting, want to just get on with the business of the day. And I think this issue comes up time and time again. And that's why the first thing that I raised, or I spoke to the chair about, was whether or not there has been any engagement between the chair and the chair of chairs, or the House chairperson, or the speaker, because we can't keep coming to these meetings and spending all of our time where we should be really deliberating on very serious issues and matters that we've been tasked to deliberate on, fighting over why this person or that person is not here. And that's also why I kindly ask the chair to consider us taking clear resolutions in our minutes, and perhaps even restarting the resolution tracker, so that we as a committee, by the time we reach our first year's anniversary, have something to look back on and say, well, this is what we've achieved as a committee. Because I'm finding it very difficult personally to see what it is that we have achieved as a committee thus far. So that is all I wanted to share from my side. Thank you, Chair.
Lange follow Kobe, do you want to tempt me? I'll give you the last opportunity, but members, I'm pleading with your good selves. Malebu, you will be the last one on this item, please.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Greetings to you and all the honorable members. I think the issue that I want to appeal to committee members is that this is an issue that has been seized with the committee. As such, we've got a resolution that the letter should be written to the Speaker about the continued absence of the minister. I think what we have to do is whether to ascertain whether we received the response from the Speaker's office regarding this matter. But what I think I want to also say is that this is a matter of principle. It must not be seen as if when people are raising, or other members are raising this matter, are taking the minister. We want our minister to be on the meeting. That's all what we want. Then let's follow all the processes to make him to be in the meeting. Therefore, we can't waste our time on this matter, because I think as the committee, we had the resolution. Thank you so much on the matter. I'm done, Chair.
Honorable Kobe.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you and my colleagues, the honorable members, and everybody else who's on the platform. I see members of the media are here as well. So good morning to the colleagues from the media fraternity. Chair, I just want to maybe reply to one Honorable Bath's remarks about recommendations. I think as a way forward, maybe as a committee, we should have a standing item on recommendations that were brought on from the previous meeting, and the Secretariat should be able to tell us from our recommendations that we have done previously what are the outcomes, as soon as we get some sort of response, or even if it's a report from the department that we requested 2 weeks ago, or whatever it is that we have made recommendations of. I think it's unfair to say that we haven't made recommendations, because we have, and the chairperson has always been adamant to say it does not have a timeline, therefore it is not a recommendation. So there has been clarity on it. There's nothing vague about it. Maybe the way in which it's captured has been vague, but I would agree with you to say that maybe to see what we have achieved, we should have a standing agenda item on the previous recommendations that we have made and how far they are. That should be just the standing item standard on every agenda item. And also, just not to
belabor the point, but I think this committee has had a high incidence of the minister not showing up to our meetings, and I think it's very, very unfortunate. But if we could have a resolution to it as fast as possible, then we can see how to go forward. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. With the request from Honorable Bath and other members, members, we have raised this issue sharply from the previous meetings, all of us, and expressed our unhappiness about the conduct of the minister, whether there's cabinet or not. Most of the times he gives us an apology. And Honorable Mare, it's not an issue for us to establish whether they're in cabinet or not. You know, it's not the issue of today. I believe today he is in cabinet, but with the fact that he has stated he has raised, and I got an indication from the Speaker's office, as we did not write to the Speaker as a committee, even though we said we'll write to the Speaker about it, but already there is a letter that went to the Speaker, Minister expressing how unhappy he is, especially in particular with myself as the chair. Seems like I don't want him. But you know, members, it's not all about me wanting a person. We are here, all of us deployed to do our work. And I did not want to raise that, but it shows he's not happy. The previous meeting that he has expressed, even when we said himself as the minister and the deputy, they speak different language. If you remember the previous meeting, we indicated that we are expecting an executive to speak in one language and brief each other, but it looks like they don't speak one language. So that one is not our issue per se. It's amongst themselves, but he has raised that sharply. It went to the Speaker's office that seems like we don't want him. But for today, honorable members, I am requesting we accept the apology, but then with the issue of tracking our resolution, we write it down. Nola assist us to record it. If it's possible, I saw on the Z list that we are live streamed. We can also get a clip from your discussions and send it to the Speaker's office to show that it's not about an individual, it's about us as a committee expressing our dissatisfaction about the presence of the minister. But honorable members, it becomes unfair for us to just always will want to talk about an individual. We believe that all ministers, all of them on Wednesdays, there's a cabinet. And in a cabinet as well, you can give an apology. There's 1 week where they've got committees, there's another week there's cabinet. And it's not every Wednesdays where there's an item that will want DPWI. It is the same, honorable members, with the DG. The previous time we raised it, he availed himself. And today I'm happy there's an acting DG as well. He manages, but you can't have always a portfolio without a ministry. There are responses that will want them from a politician, not from the officials. But allow me to move forward and say the tracking of the resolution, members, when we bring minutes in the committee and we'll have to call for matters arising and rectification, that's where you track and rectify, or this resolution does not stand well, and this resolution, that's how we have resolved. Therefore, we make a follow-up going further. and we always give it a timeline. It's unfortunate when we gave it a timeline and we don't get a proper response. I'm gonna give you an example, a simple example that we discussed about young professionals. There are resolutions that we took. Until today, there's no response from the department, which I think we made a follow-up through NOLA with the DG. We don't have a response, and they are always making follow-ups. There are many resolutions that we took, we don't have responses. Maybe when we come to that item of minutes and matters arising, we need to respond in a different way. But allow me to move forward, honorable members, and I'm not sure with the 3 hands that I'm seeing whether you want to come in terms of responding, but I think in this item we've exhausted a lot. It's apology. I'm gonna give you a half a minute, and please, members, when I call you to say your time has expired, please respect that. Be quick, straight to the point. We can't dwell much on apologies. It can't be correct, and we cannot allow ourselves to be disorganized because of an apology. And I think we're going in that way, which is not proper. Then I'll start with Lelange, Sipo, and Mankosi. Please take half a minute.
Hey, thank you so much, Chair. No, Chair. I feel I must rise to contribute based on the response that you are giving. There are 2 things here, Chair, that I want to raise. The first one, I think it's incorrect that as a committee we took a decision that the letter must be written to the Speaker, and that has not been done. Secondly, it's incorrect that the Minister has also written the letter to the Speaker. In particular, that seems like he's singling you alone, that you the one that are having a problem with that. That is, for me, you are seated, is highly incorrect and out of order. That's what I wanted to raise. Thank you so much.
Mahlangu.
Thanks, greetings to everyone. I think Honorable Jelanga has covered me. But however, last time when we're in the meeting where we agreed that we must write a letter, we also agreed that we must not entertain much, we must no more entertain the minister, because we have exhausted much time discussing the minister without any fruitful engagement. So I think we must just write the letter to the Speaker, and we'll take it from there. And also, it was even best that the minister will raise issues here in the committee meeting before going to the Speaker. It was best that he comes here and raise those issues here. But we won't even raise those issues here in the meeting because it does not even come to the meeting. So I think Zolanga has briefly covered me. Thank you very much.
Mankos.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'm sorry, man. We will sound as if we are tracking the meeting. But, Chair, on the issue of the letter, I'm covered by my 2 colleagues. But I just want to indicate that the minister must not use you as a scapegoat because he doesn't want to come to account to this committee. I heard him talking to one minister, telling him that he's not going to come to the committee because we don't allow him to respond. And I've called him into order in that day, on that day. So I just want to say, the minister must not use you as the scapegoat because he is not accounting to this portfolio. He doesn't respect us at all. So he must not do that. We don't allow that and we don't accept that. Totally, he cannot do that. It is totally unacceptable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorable members. Can we move to the next item? Now, can you fly to the agenda? Let me see and track it. The issue of the House Chair or the Chair of Chairs, I'm not going to entertain that. Wednesdays, it's a day that we work, and there's no way they'll change. We have spoken, we went to the chairperson's meetings. All of us, honorable members, we have agreed since we've started the 7th administrations. For now, we have been given Wednesdays, and we must just work on Wednesdays. The next item, it's introduction. I believe the introduction is on the side of the officials led by Lwazi and also the media. I can see there's a standby, a person who's acting on behalf of Ujabu. I saw a message. Can we get introduction? The media and officials. Maybe Lwazi, you can start and allow your members to introduce themselves and open your video so that we can see who's in the meeting. Acting DG.
Good morning, Chair. Chair, if I may get an indication on your side, if you can hear us.
I can hear you clearly, but we can't see you.
We'll try and put a video. We are basically sitting in the boardroom here.
We can see you now.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We are sitting in the boardroom with the other colleagues. Should I then, through your chairs, introduce the committee, the team that's coming to the meeting?
Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, good afternoon. Good morning, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, members of the Portfolio Committee, the executive team of the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, the support team from Parliament, as well as invited guests. Good morning. Chair, in the delegation that is represented today is basically myself, Lwazi Mahlangu, Acting Director General, in the absence of our Director General who's away. Apology has been sent. Also joined in by Ms. Luyanda Kafile, who is the Deputy Director General for PMO, Program Management Office. Also joined by Ms. Sasa Suban.
Luyanda, can you take a video to her side?
I'm sure, Chair, you can now see all of them in the one boardroom.
Yes, we can see, but try to raise a hand. Which one is who? Maslaila, we are not referring to you, but we want to see.
Okay, let me start, Chair, one by one as you are guiding. The first is Ms. Luyanda Kafile, DDG PMO. The second one is Ms. Sasa Supan, DDG Real Estate Investment Services. Then we've got Ms. Mantekeleng Monama, who's the Chief Director, PMO, supporting DDG PMO. And then you've got Ms. Nkosana Kupega, who is acting DDG Construction Project Management. Then we have also Mr. Siabonga Aba, who is the Deputy Director in UDM. UDM is User Demand Management. And then on this side, Chair, I've got also the support team from the DG's office, Mr. Maslailo Matladi, as well as Ms. Sipoga Zibambeni, support and also and myself as well in the meeting. Thank you, Chair. That basically is the team.
Are you sure you introduced everybody? I saw someone who did not raise a hand.
In the boardroom, yes. Then we've got also colleagues online. The colleagues online, we've got Miss Chabulile Mabaso, who is the regional manager in Johannesburg Regional Office. And then we also have Mr.
Mr.
Pascal.
Can you open up your video? We see.
Ms. Mabaso, if you can quickly show your video. The video icon is on, Chair. I'm not sure if you are able to see on your screen.
Can she say hi, maybe?
Okay.
Good morning, Chair, and the portfolio committee members.
Oh, a very good morning inside the car. It's fine.
Thank you, Chair. And then the other one is Mr. Vasnar Tlabangwana, who's the Chief Director in Construction Project Management. If he can also show his face as well as say hi.
No, he must not be afraid. Even though he's inside the car, it's fine. As long as you are in a meeting, you want a better reception. There's nothing wrong.
Yes.
Allow.
Mr. Tlabangwana. Okay, Chair, I'm not sure, but we'll give him a call so that he can come in if the Chair allows.
You know, we, acting DG, we want to avoid the fact that you log in and move on with other things. You are not part of the meeting. We expect everybody to be in a meeting. So that's why we'll want everybody to record the presence. Maslaelo, I think you can do your work and call the gentleman.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We are doing that. Thank you very much, Chair. I think we appreciate that. That's why we also agreed that we should all sit in the boardroom. I think for Ms. Jabulile, she's on site, but she's also, as we've asked her to join as well. Thank you, Chair. That's it from our side. And then there's Musawenko Sikuman, who just spoke in on behalf of the Deputy Minister's Office, providing guidance in terms of the official apology of the Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Acting DG. On the side of the media, maybe from Parliament side, you can be led by the person who's acting on behalf of Jabu. Introduce the media fraternity that is in the house. Nola, can you assist on the side of the media?
Yes, Chair. I see online we have Jason Felix from News 24. I'm not sure if Jabu is able to then really let us know who else are the members of the media that are in the meeting. But from what I can see, we have Jason Felix from News 24. Thank you, Chair.
No, it's not Jabu per se. Someone who wrote on the message to say is on standby on behalf of Jabu. Then I thought that person will introduce him or herself, and we see who's assisting Jabu.
Chairperson.
Yes, Shape.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, colleagues and everyone on the platform. Chair, I just want to explain that is an AI tool that is used for recording that you are seeing on that message.
Oh. Okay. Meaning
So
Jabu is on the platform.
It's not a human body. Warm body.
But then it means Jabu is on the platform.
I don't know that, Chair, but I know that the AI software that we use for recording very often does that.
Jabu, are you part of us or is just the AI? No, it's fine. It means we'll move to the main item, which will want acting DG to lead us. In the main item, there are two issues. Maybe you must start with the one-stop border post project. We know, we understand that already you're gonna tell us about the MBA, but try to give us meat on that one. Then you'll come to the issue of small harbors, as you have been advised by Honorable Radi at the beginning. Or let's talk to the presentation and not waste much of the time, meaning members, they are on the hit side. Actually, they just want to question, but you can take it over, acting DG, and hand over to the person who will be presenting. We are giving you with the two presentations, at least for us to be fair, and you might finish the entire minutes or you might not finish. Now it's we are giving you until 11:05 to do the presentation. Acting DG.
Thank you, Chairperson. And also greetings once more to Chairperson and the honorable members of the committee. Thank you, Chair, for the guidance. Yes, we will follow your guidance. We will have the first presentation will be presented by Ms. Sasa Supan, and then followed by Ms. Luyanda Kafile in that order. Chairperson will try to stick to the time, not regurgitating every slide, but just to give you the sound bites and the critical elements that will then provide clarity and guidance to the committee. Thanks. Sasa?
Maybe allow Uhlabangwan to show his or her face. I can see there's an indication that there was a challenge on the microphone. Now it has been resolved. Can you come in?
Yeah, good morning, Honorable Chair and honorable members and colleagues. My sincere apologies. I had some challenges with regard to microphone technically, but it's resolved. Thank you so much.
Were you not rushing to the office?
No, no, not really. Not that way. Not that way, Honorable Chair.
No, it's fine. You can take over from the side of the acting DG. We have also given you an extra 2 minutes because of we gave Uhlabangwan a minute. You may proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. We will do as guided. Thank you. Ms. Supan will then take us through his first presentation.
Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, and colleagues within DPW, very good morning. Sasa Subin, I'm going to be presenting on the progress regarding the one-stop border post. Very quickly, I'm going to be presenting on the roles and responsibilities governing the border environment, which has changed since 2020.
Try to move next to the mic closer. That echo is a bit disturbing, I believe. Even on the YouTube, it might have problems.
Okay. Chairperson, I hope that's better. I've just moved.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you. So I'm presenting on the roles and responsibilities governing the DPW within the border environment, which has changed since 2020, and then a brief report on the town planning processes undertaken by DPW and the technical assistance that we're providing to BMA. I don't see the presentation beams, but in 2020, The President assented to the
Order, order, Chairperson, order.
Chair.
Chair.
Bear in mind, honorable members, when you call orders, then it means we extend minutes from the side of the presenters.
No, Chair, mine is just a quick one.
And yourself, let me start with Kobe, then you'll follow.
Okay.
Try to take half a minute.
Chair, thank you, Chair. Chair, just a request for the presentation to be flighted. I don't believe we have a copy of it. If we
That's
do,
fine.
my apologies, but can they please flight it so that we follow while she is presenting? Thank you.
Kobe has covered me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Can we do likewise? It's a request, actually. It's not an order, Rati. Sometimes you must not just call an order necessary. I was even afraid to give you a space, but it's fine. Acting DG, can you assist in terms of flighting Nola?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think, Chair, we were going to request the assistance from Nola on if that could be possible.
I'm unable to flight from my side, Honorable Chair, and I requested the acting DG to flight from their side because of the device I'm using, unfortunately. I'm not sure if there's anyone else from the department who's able to flight.
Did you give them the rights to?
Yeah. Yes, Chair, the acting DG has the co-hosting rights.
Oh, Chair, can it be sent onto our WhatsApp group so we can open it? Thank you.
No, it's proper actually to be flighted. In the meantime, Nola will send it to the group. Lwazi, are you winning?
Nothing.
Honorable Chair,
No.
I've just sent through the presentation to the group. Thanks, Chair.
Chairperson, thank you. Please bear with us. We're basically trying to project on the site. We've compatibility issues. The system we're using is largely MS Teams, so we're trying to reconfigure quickly for the flighting of the presentation to Zoom. If you bear with us for a minute, Chair.
No, I think the presenter must proceed while you are trying to get it
Okay, thank you, Chair.
of time. Members, there is a presentation that is in the group.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, Chair. May I come in, please? I really mean this. I really wanted this meeting to be quick. But the presentations that have been posted by our dear Knowles on the group relates to small harbors and the progress. But the presenter is talking about cross-border issues. Are they related, or is this a separate presentation? Please, if I could just get some clarity on that. I'm just not comfortable going to a presentation I've not seen. That's all.
I agree with you. It's not the same because this one is a one-stop border post project.
No, it's not IT. Right, Chair, we are loading now.
Chair, may I come in, please?
It's okay,
Chair, has this presentation been made available to us prior to this meeting? If not, I want to know if there's anything so urgent about it and whether this cannot be deferred to another meeting, because as I said, I'm not too comfortable with items being presented that we don't have prior, opportunity to go through the presentations.
Allow the presentation to be presented, honorable members. You'll understand while they'll be presenting. It's a one-stop border post that is actually the department. Its role is to give support. I don't want to talk about it in front, but up front, but let's give them a chance. Please, I'm begging. Letlape and Bath.
No, thanks, Chair, and good morning to yourself and colleagues. Chair, I want to call order on yourself. We've raised the issue of not receiving presentations on time quite a number of times in the portfolio committee meeting. And for the chair to want us to give exception to this particular presentation, when we have agreed that we can't be discussing items that have not been sent to us, whether or not we are giving support to the border posts or what the role of public works is, we were supposed to be given an opportunity to go through this presentation. Honorable Reddy has just raised an issue here that was discussed in the programming committee that says we must not go word for word in a presentation. So it is really unfair for members of the portfolio committee to sit in a meeting and listen to a presentation they'll be hearing for the first time. And you expect us to engage it fully and to participate fully in this particular item. I think it's really unfair, and it's really unprecedented that the chair wants us to give exception to this particular presentation, like all the others that we have been doing, and we finally had to put a stop to it. So I also want to agree that we can't be discussing a presentation that we have not received on time or not received at all. Thanks, Chair.
But
Yeah, sure, Chairperson. I mean, we're 50 minutes into our meeting, and we've actually discussed nothing of substance. I really just hope that going forward, not only the department, well, let me rather say, the department should really have been prepared with this presentation. It should have been flaunted on the screen. We should have received it a week ago. Thankfully, we did receive a report or a presentation regarding the small harbours a week ago. But really, Chair, I even, this is for Honorable Reddy, I even went onto to the YouTube channel to see what is happening and what is streaming that side. There are only 4 people watching this portfolio committee. And I also wouldn't be watching it if this is how it's conducted and this is how disorganized we all are. So really, Chair, through your leadership, can we please try and get things to work better going forward? This is really unacceptable, Chair. Thank you.
honorable members, you are taking me back. For us to receive a presentation, it needs the minister to sign and agree and allow officials to send it through to us. So you are taking me back, or the committee back, to the fact that if we are going to do like that, we are not going to receive even reports in time. Yes, I agree with you, Letlape. Every time we complain about late presentation that are brought to us, and sometimes it looks like it's Nola who's doing that deliberately. But Nola receives it from the department, and there's no one, whether the DG or acting DG, can't send a presentation without a signature or approval from the minister. So that's what I wanted to avoid, to go back and discuss about the minister. I heard your resolution that we must write to the speaker. This is a challenge that we are facing. And I want to agree with your good self. This item has been long standing from the previous meetings, even the ones that we postponed. We were postponing because we wanted this presentation. It was not. I thought maybe they'll just speak to it, just to give you an information, even though it's not all about us discussing it. But I must get the feeling of the house. If you are saying we must not entertain it, or they must not talk to us about it, it's fine. But I thought you were supposed to be given a chance to be just given an information about one-stop border post, which is not a transmesh members as you feel. You don't want them to talk to it and give it to you. But honorable members, we are still going to face a challenge if the issue of the minister or the attitude that I could call it, it's still the same. But it's upon yourself, Honorable Radi and Delange. Can we please try to minimize the talks?
I want to propose that we do not hear this presentation. It be rescheduled to our next meeting. And with respect to the officials who are prepared, I think we need to be very clear and professional about the way we conduct business in this committee. It's a no-no that we entertain any sort of input without having first sight of presentations beforehand, because we prepare. We read through these presentations and we prepare. That's how we come to the meetings. We're not getting paid to do no job here. So my appeal to you, Chair, is that you reschedule this presentation. I mean, we're seriously being limping here. We have a minister who's just not interested in this committee. And then now we're getting presentations that are coming here without it being sent to us prior to the meeting. So I think let's just defer this and let's move on to the issue of the small harbors. Thank you, Chair.
Kobe.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'd just like to understand what's been the holdup with this. Have we, as a committee, requested from the minister for us to go to see this issue, the one-stop border post? And if there is a reluctance, or there seemingly is a reluctance on the department's end to send us the presentation and present it to us, what could be the issue? Do we have a reason? Is there a political reason of some sort why we can't play oversight on this and why we can't receive the presentation on time? I think maybe if we premise it from there, and then we can then understand the issues behind it. Thanks, Chair.
Gels?
Thank you so much, Chair. No, Chair, I wanted to persuade members based on the fact that you also persuaded us that let's allow the presenters to present. And we put a radar by noting that this should form part of the letter we write to the Speaker, that even how we receive the information. But for now, I plead to members that just allow the presenters to present. Thank you so much.
Members, it's not maybe to respond to Honorable Kobe in particular. It's not about only the one-stop border post. If you remember, you still have the outstanding matter on rebuilding of parliament that you don't receive presentations in time. There's a lot, members. There are many items that you requested and you even complained. Some of them you got a presentation a day before or 2 days before. That makes you to prepare. You don't prepare it thoroughly. But for me, I get an indication from your good self. That's why I'm saying let's treat it as an information sharing, because we really need this presentation. We brought a program to your good self. You adopted. We don't just call a meeting without a proper plan. We brought a program. And as much as we are still going to rework the program that we brought to yourself, we have a challenge as the parliament on its own with the fact that the budget still needs to be re-approved. We must rework again. And those items that we did not deal with them previously, or the ones that we have shifted, it was due to the issue of budget, but there are items even previously that we shifted or we did not receive them in time because there is no way for officials to give us a report through Nola's office. The minister must approve. And if the minister don't sign, you are not going to get it. I had one-on-one with the minister to say, at least if it's late by Friday, let's get all the report every Friday. Send us a report, then you have the whole weekend, Monday and Tuesday, then Wednesday it's portfolio meetings. We agreed with the minister, but it's not happening, honorable members. There are two suggestions here, and I don't know whether to suppress Dlelange and agree with majority of your good self to not to entertain the one-stop border post, or we must just give them 10 minutes to talk to the presentation just for information sharing. But to be honest, members, it's my understanding is that on that one, it's MBA that implements. It just needs the support of DPWI, as we've got a role to house, we've got a role to deal with issues of infrastructure in the country. But it's up to your good self. I am not a dictator, can't dictate. And I'm not sure whether these are new hands that I see. And I don't want to do the part of suppressing, as even time is not on our side. We're not doing good. Members, we are not doing good at all. But Mankosi, then Bath, Lelange, you'll be the last one. Then I'll give it to the acting DG. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Chair, I think I will concur with the honorable members. It is quite unfortunate that the presentation must be signed by the minister before they get through. But I just want to say, Chair, to honorable members that I will support Honorable Dlelange when he says, let us maybe allow the department to do the presentation because they are prepared, even though we didn't get the presentation. They are prepared just to share the information, as you said. But Chair, it must be the last time that we get the presentation that we didn't get. It's not quite correct. We'll be setting a wrong precedence. But for today only, because the department is ready, and now that we are saying it must form part of the report that you are going to send to the speaker, or to be part of the letter that is going to be sent to the speaker, the issue of this presentation that we are experiencing now. But we are not supporting the wrong thing, but only for today. Let us share that information, but it must be indicated in the letter as well. Thank you very much, Chair.
In that order.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to note the message that Nola shared on our WhatsApp group regarding the presentation having been signed off by the minister and sent through on Saturday. And I think, Chair, I'd like to maybe just support you in reiterating that let's try our very best to encourage the department to submit everything on the Friday before the portfolio committee sits. But also noting that that Nola was off sick or at a funeral or had other engagements, that perhaps there's more than just Nola that the department can copy into those submissions, so that if one person is off sick, there's another person who can then share that information with us. Because from practice in this committee, It's been common that we receive presentations and submissions on a Monday and a Tuesday before a committee meeting. So I do think that let's try and get back to Friday being the standard operating procedure. And I also want to support that because we're here and because we haven't met in so long, and Chair, because we haven't seen your face in so long as well, that because we are here and we want to get down to business, and it's now 5 minutes past 11, that we take the presentation that is here for us, and that we conclude our agenda as it is set out for the day. Thank you, Chair.
Who was the last one? Is it Kobe or Tlelange?
No, it was Delanga, Chair. But I think I'm persuaded by members that I'm sure they are getting a view that let's proceed. Thank you so much.
Kobe, is it a legacy hand?
Chair, it's not a legacy hand. Just wanted to register deep dissatisfaction. If it was sent on Saturday, we had Monday, and we had Tuesday, and we had this morning even that it could be sent. And now after the presentation, Chair, my worry is how are we then supposed to engage with it? Will there be a question and answer session afterwards? I think it is a great disservice, and we are really setting a wrong precedent. If the majority of my colleagues do feel as though that we should continue with this, that's perfectly fine. But it cannot be that as a portfolio committee, we are operating like this, and then we are accused of not being the most effective portfolio committee. It is because of things like this that undermine the work that we do. Thanks, Chair. That's all from my end.
Nhlapi?
No, thanks, Chair. I want to second the proposal of Honorable Reddy that this presentation must not be presented to us until I don't understand how honorable members can say the department came here prepared when they have not sent a presentation that they had prepared themselves for. So I'm proposing the proposal that says this presentation must not be presented to us, and in fact, it must be added into the next meeting that we're going to have. In as much as we've got pressure of completing our work and discussing certain items, we also have a responsibility of giving quality work to the South Africans, and this is definitely not it. So I don't agree with the presentation being presented to us today. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. I think we have exhausted our discussion on this matter. Let me make a ruling. Acting DG, allow us not to take this presentation. We'll reschedule it, and while we'll be rescheduling it, Maslalo, you must also assist with talking to the DG that they also have a role to invite the necessary department. You know, I was also waiting for you to present and say, even though you're gonna give support, where is MBA, the ones who are implementing the project? Next time, when we'll be calling you as a department about the one-stop border post, we'll be expecting Home Affairs as well, because we'll be wanting to question the project. And it was going to, on our side, you were just going to say, no, it's not. As responses are from Home Affairs. So we are saying next time when you see the invite with this item, you must bring the relevant department. Proceed to the next item, which is your small Harbours, Acting DG. Lois and the team. Am I still audible, members?
Yes, you are, Chairperson. It's just the team is delayed.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear us now?
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Apologies, Chair. Thank you very much for that.
Is it the DG Did he connect from where he is?
No, Chair. We are using the DG's laptop. We have to reconnect twice because of it's linked to Teams, not Zoom. So we're struggling in terms of that compatibility to Zoom. Apologies, that Chair.
No, it's okay.
Yes.
Proceed.
So on those bases, it's also not enabling us to project the presentation. I think, Chair, if you do allow, maybe we can talk to it on the basis that maybe it has been shared with the members if Chairperson allows us to do so.
Yes. Proceed.
Okay, thanks, Chair. Thank you, Chair. First of all, let's just apologize for this miscommunication of and sending of information. We will work together in order to deal with that. Though we do have that it was the small Harbours was sent on the 9th of May, and then the border post was sent on the 10th of May. But we do take note of the concerns raised by the members. We'll certainly improve on that to ensure that documents are sent within the stipulated times. I'll then hand over to Ms. Luyanda to then take us through the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting DG, and greetings to the Honorable Chairperson and the Honorable members and my colleagues. Chairperson, I will talk to the presentation and not go through each slide. We are here to give the Portfolio Committee an update on the work we are doing on the Small Harbours program. This program, Chairperson, is part of Operation Phakisa that involves quite a number of departments, but as Public Works, our function is related to the infrastructure development to support the ocean's economy. Chair, the presentation is talking to three areas. Area number one is the development of new small harbours. Area number two is the upgrade and maintenance program for the already proclaimed fishing harbours. And the third part is around asset optimization that I am going to just give a summary through. Chairperson and members, in terms of the development of new small harbours, this came as we are working towards increasing our participation and growing the ocean's economy. And it was then assessed that we only have proclaimed 12 fishing harbours that were developed quite a number of years ago. And for over 50 years, we have not had any development of new harbours. A decision then was taken to look at developing small harbours. Three were prioritized, one in the Northern Cape, one in the Eastern Cape, and one in KwaZulu-Natal. At the time when this decision was taken, only the basic research was done on the small harbours. And then as a program, Public Works PMO was tasked to lead with the preparation of a spatial and economic development framework for each potential harbour. We started with that task and we went and we separated the harbours into 3 tiers. Tier 1 was focusing on the 3 in the provinces that I have mentioned. And Tier 2, there was a list of potential sites that we had to look at. We started with the development of the SEDFs. We actually kicked off in June 2024 with, we were working together with ISA using the project preparation funding to do that work. We started and the task was to complete the 3 SEDFs by March 2025. I confirm, Chairperson, that we did that. The SEDFs were completed and submitted by ISA to us on the 28th of March 2025. Now we are moving on to the next phase for the 3 sites, because we have now the best information that is going to guide us in terms of what must be the outcome. In the SCDF's chairperson, there is an inclusion of quite a number of assessments, but key to this, we have a summary of the assessment, and we have the development options that have been analyzed to see in each site what could be the best development that would yield the most feasible and economical use of the harbour spaces. And it also includes the phasing plan, because we will not be able to do everything once off. It looks at the potential financial implications, the socio-economic impact, and the risk and critical considerations for each of those sites. Port St. John's Chair, we did finish the SEDFs. Now, Chair, we are moving on to a stage that we call a preparation for the proclamation, because for us to be able to operate the harbour, it will need to be proclaimed. So in this year, starting in 25-26, we are concluding the essential studies that are going to be done and the stakeholder negotiations, because that is a critical part to engage the users of the harbours. And that will lead to a proclamation, and then we will start moving on to the direct implementation, securing the site that will enable us to have a properly demarcated area. We are planning to rehabilitate the slipway in that area. We are also planning to look at the infrastructure that is required. There's water, sewer, electrical, and road infrastructure. With that, we are going to start with, so that we can have a harbour that is potentially usable and to the benefit, so that within the first phase, we are able to get the harbour operational, especially for the fishing communities, the small-scale fishing communities, because already in those areas, you have people that are already working on it. I won't go through, Chair, the detail of the phasing plan. It is part of the presentation, but we have a multi-year plan that goes up quite a number of years for us to have a comparative harbour. Chair, Port Nolloth, the status is almost the same. We have concluded the SCDFs. We are also moving into the next phase, that is going to talk to a deproclamation and an alignment of the port limits, because there are certain conditions that we have to go through, and then ultimately lead to a proper proclamation of the small harbours, following the same process of the development. And even in the KZN, Port Shepstone, we are going to follow the same process, ensuring that we get the necessary proclamations and gazettes ongoing. I must indicate that this one is part of a bigger plan of government that is also working through COGTA, to develop a coastal city that is involving a number of district municipalities in that area. So there is quite a number of activities that have to be done, Chair. Chair, as I indicated, now that we've completed these 3 SCDFs, we are still continuing with the Tier 2 sites. We assessed 22 sites that were submitted by the provinces. At the moment, we are working on SCDFs for 5 sites. We're expecting those SCDFs to be completed in the latter part of this year. I think in Q3, we should be having completed SCDFs for the 5 sites. But there is a lot of work that is already done. Chairperson, I would then move to the area of the upgrade and maintenance of the existing proclaimed fishing harbours. We have those 12 fishing harbours in the Western Cape. We started a program and to do the SCDFs and also upgrade and maintain those harbours to a functional state. We spent about 501 million rands to do that work. Part of the work that we did was to remove sunken vessels that were stationed in the harbours. We had to do some dredging, that is the removal of sand from the harbours because it prevents other vessels from coming in. We did that and we repaired some of the slipways to ensure that vessels can go in and out properly. We did repairs to some of the civil infrastructure and electrical infrastructure. With that program, we created a number of jobs. I think that the report is in the presentation that we empowered a number of SMMEs in the area, about 100 SMMEs, and they benefited over 137 million rands doing that work with us in that phase. So there is good work that has been achieved with the upgrade and maintenance program of the small harbours in the Western Cape. The next phase, Chairperson, for those harbours is to look into the asset optimization because we want those harbours to get to the best of what they can deliver. We have the asset optimization program. I think the head of PMTE has previously presented this. It includes our harbour sites. We are going to then get transactional advisors that are going to help us in getting developers that are going to work with us and getting the full potential and funders that will develop those small harbours. This is going to be part of what has been described as public-private partnerships, ensuring that state assets are optimized and we are generating income for the PMTE. One of the harbours that has been prioritized is the Hout Bay Harbour. We are working hard on that. We are working on the Saldanha Bay Harbour as well to ensure that we get those harbours to the best of their ability. We are planning, Chair, to conclude appointments of transactional advisors, and later in the latter part of the year, we are going to release the harbours into the market for potential developers to come through and assist us, Chairperson. I think I will stop there with the summary, Chairperson, of the presentation and recommend that the portfolio committee notes the progress on the small harbours program. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. Honorable members, as you have requested that they must talk to the presentation, not go through it slide by slide, and there are the recommendation. It's time for the deliberations. Can I get an indication with a show of hands, members? I only see, okay, maybe let me allow you to raise your hands. Hey, seems like even myself, technology is dealing with me. I can't see everybody at the same time. Okay. Bear with me, members. I'm still trying to open the entire participants list. No technology, it's okay. Let me maybe start with the
Chair, I've just to assist, I've sent you the list on WhatsApp. Please check your WhatsApp.
yeah. It does assist. Maybe let me start with the Honorable Radi, followed by Marie, then Dlelang, in that order in the meantime. While I'll be double checking.
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you to the presenters. Let me begin by thanking the presentation, welcoming the presentation. As the MK Party, we want to acknowledge the milestones that have been reported, especially the completion of the 3 Tier 1 Spatial and Economic Development Frameworks, the SEDFs, for Port Nolloth, Port St. John's, and for Port Shepstone. You know, Chairperson, if these harbors, if they are developed properly, they have the potential to drive coastal economic development, to empower local communities, and to reshape the blue economy agenda. However, I have to raise certain concerns. The first relates to the issue of real oversight versus paper progress. Now, we don't want the portfolio committee to be reduced to a ceremonial role, because it is vital that we undertake early, structured, and regular oversight visits to all Tier 1 and Tier 2 sites. We need to physically see what is going on the ground. It's simply not enough to read slides in Parliament. We owe it to communities on the coast to verify the delivery. I therefore propose, Chairperson, that the committee adopts a quarterly oversight program aligned with project phases, beginning with Port St. John's, where implementation is set to start. I want us, Chair, to be proactive and not reactive. The second issue is concerns around implementation delays and funding bottlenecks. I think we all would agree on this. The reliance on the BFI, the Budget Facility for Infrastructure funding model, it raises questions about how soon ground can actually be broken. We've seen too many cases where these SEDFs are developed only to gather dust on shelves. Is there a guarantee from National Treasury that the proposals will be funded in this financial year? The third issue, Chairperson, relates to the neglect of the coastal provinces beyond Western Cape. While the Western Cape has seen upgrades to its 13 proclaimed fishing harbours to the tune of 501 million rand, and you'll find that the minister will obviously run a big campaign about this and Western Cape, we note that the rest of the country, particularly the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, have yet to benefit from any tangible infrastructure. Why are we continuously over-investing in one province while communities in other coastal areas remain locked out of the ocean's economy? We need equitable investment. Port Edward, Heberdean, Mbizana, and Hamburg must not be treated as afterthoughts in a drawn-out tier 2 process. I'm also concerned about private sector involvement, because this must not result in exclusion. You know, we've seen what's happening with the capture of state arms by private organizations and the private sector in particular. The State Asset Optimization Program, the SAOP, must be carefully scrutinized. While we support leveraging private sector expertise, we must reject any model that excludes traditional fishing communities or the SMMEs. There is a risk that harbors will be leased into elite capture under the guise of public-private partnerships. Let's not privatize public assets without full community benefit agreements. In conclusion, Chairperson, I think, let's register this, what I'm saying right now. We want to take our frameworks and we want to turn them into foundations. Let us turn our strategies into steel and cement. But more importantly, let us ensure that our oversight role becomes a watchdog and not a lapdog. I thank you, Chairperson.
In that order, Honorable Mare.
Thank you, Chairperson. I want us to go to page 22 of the presentation. I suppose it's slide 22. With the top section, it's been stipulated removal of sunken vessels. Now, I have a personal interest in Saldanha Bay as it is my constituency, and I will be there on Monday. So I want to ask the presenter, they can confirm, because there was a sunken vessel in the harbour in Saldanha Bay, if that has been removed. And then I want to go to the third allocation on the page, repairs to slipways, because I've been there, and at the bottom it's stipulated completed at the harbours with Saldanha Bay slipway being doubled from 600 tons to 1,200 tons. That is the second question, if that is done. And the third one is Sea Harvest operates in Saldanha Bay Harbour, and there was a problem with their allocation of space because there was damages that must be repaired to what is given to them to lease. And what is progress on that? I would love to hear that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. Do you hear me, Chair?
Yes, Dels. In the meantime, while after that, please, can you also assist me in co-chairing, please?
Okay, thank you so much, Chair.
I'm struggling a bit.
Okay, thank you, Chair. No, it's for me just one question. But let me first say that to join the other honored members on appreciating the presentation on this project of small harbour development. For me, based on this is that the question is just simple. What is the plan to deal with the political and institutional challenges, especially when it comes to integrated development plan, what we refer to it as IDP, in the main for its implementation, so that the development of this small harbour is not delayed in the area? But that's the only question I have, Chair. Thank you so much. I will proceed. Were there any other members, or I give to the acting DG for responses? Knowles will assist me on your side.
Responses.
Okay, thank you so much.
No, our hands are up. Our hands have been up, Chair.
Okay, how many are you?
Chair, I'll forward you. Acting Chair, I'll forward you the list as well.
Thank you so much.
Organize you, Dels.
Yes.
I'm sorry to disorganize you. It's fine. I just have a bit of No, it's fine. Let me assist you and recognize Mankosi Litlapen Gama. There are many members who have raised their hand. Then the fourth one in this batch will be Mamakasi. In that order. Members, have you heard? It's Mankosi Litlape Gama and Makasi. Am I audible?
Yes, Chair, you are.
Yes.
Yeah. Mankosi, if she's not ready, Litlape, you can come in.
No, thank you, Chair. Chair, no, we do welcome the report, and I think this is the second time we're getting this report, even though it was not as brief as it is now. When we were in the Eastern Cape on Oversight, particularly in Port St. John municipality, I really would love to see this happening. And the first time when we got this report, my worry was there's going to be probably a term or 2 terms of parliament that ends before we see the implementation or the end product of this plan. And also considering the fact that since the 1950s, there's not been public or new public harbour developments that have been happening in South Africa, and so it really would be something to celebrate that we are finally investing in marine economy in this country, because we also have an opportunity of really growing the economy, particularly in the marine side in those provinces. And I would really love to see this happening before the next 10 years, because I see in these plans they've got 5 to 7 plus. So it's probably going to take about 10 years for it to be concluded. But in the report also, Chair, it states that there's been about 925 jobs that were created. And we are thankful for that. But if you look into the report, only 98 of these people who got jobs are females. I don't think that sits well with what we want to achieve as a country in ensuring that we also empower women and including them in the economy, including them and allowing them to participate in the economy of this country. So my question is, maybe what are the criteria? Because I know, yes, you give out projects, and then there'll be other people who implement these projects. But do we have a unit as a department that focuses or that checks on whether or not we are still in line with the policies of this country? One person, or if not 3 people living with disabilities benefited from it. I don't think that is progressive per se, to say that we created 900 plus jobs, but the most disadvantaged groups are the ones that still are lacking or are still behind in this. So it is something to celebrate, but we cannot celebrate the fact that there has not been progress in ensuring that minority groups or disadvantaged groups participate also, or get or becomes beneficiaries in this process. And I also want to check, what is the expected time frame to finalize these business cases to obtain funding? I know funding is always difficult, so we'll have these plans and then we'll not be able to proceed because of funding. And every financial year they'll be given a little amount of money to see what they can do. I know in the Eastern Cape it was also mentioned that there were promises from China to invest. This is also part of the private-public partnership. I want to check whether we are still on that track of getting funding from China specifically, because I know it was mentioned before. But also, I also want to check how close and committed are the Department of Public Works and Fisheries and Environment working in terms of sourcing funds for these priority harbors. I think the excitement comes from all of us. The fact that we know that thousands and thousands of people are going to benefit from these developments. If you go to Port St. John on its own, you'd feel like you're in the Caribbean. And imagine if we were to implement this program in certainly 10 years or so, thousands of people would get jobs. It's a small municipality, yes, but it has an opportunity of carrying a majority part of the economy of the Eastern Cape as well, if we were to be solid and intentional about implementing these plans. So I really want to urge. I heard that PMTE would also have an opportunity of generating a lot of money. That is where our interest is, that the department is able to generate money from state infrastructural development. And I would therefore really ask that we have time frames so that we're able to also pace ourselves. As one member has already said, that we do want to play oversight, but we can't play oversight on things that have already passed, whether or not they've been implemented. And ours is just to sit in a committee meeting and discuss what would be the way forward. So it would really be nice to know, when would phase one pre-implementation phase end? When would phase one start? When is it anticipated to end? So that we also, as we do our program for the portfolio committee, we include these projects so that we know that we don't only come here and ask for what happened, but we're able to go there and see the actual work that has been happening. And sometimes that also instills confidence in whether or not we are progressing as a department, or whether or not there are some challenges that would come. And I think that is very important, that we also get that time frame. When are you anticipating to start this? When are you anticipating to finish? So that we also have our own plan of oversight on how are we going to play oversight, and not necessarily just call people into one room and discuss things. So that is going to be my input for now. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Gama.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, and thanks to the presenter for giving us this update. I just wanted to ask a question around Port Noloth. As far as I understood it, the designation of Port Noloth was more as a commercial harbour. Has it now been designated as a small harbour and a fishing harbour? And then partly Member Letlape has covered me on the timing. From what I see, it just says year one, but doesn't really tell us when those periods are, except that the presenter did indicate that towards the end of this year, possibly Hout Bay, Port St. John's, and Port Noloth will be put out to the public. Has there been any? The next question is around financial close. Has there been financial closure on these three harbours? Has feasibility been proven? Because when it comes to harbours are very expensive to build, and they take time, especially fishing and small craft harbours. They take time to actually bring money back, but they are actually quite important for the local economic development. What kind of funding mechanisms have been considered by the Public Works Department, especially bringing in development finance institutions like the DBSA and IDC to also help some of the local municipalities in this instance, because it's good infrastructure that lasts for a long time, but the payback period also takes a long time. So the private sector is likely to want to come in to manage those aspects that are not related to infrastructure, but more around operating the harbours, like coming up with small boats or small fishing boats. They might not want to fund the actual infrastructure. Has there been thought
that has been given by Public Works in terms of how the infrastructure would be funded. For instance, Port St. John's, we talk about 250 million. Who would fund that? Do you think that you will get a public and private partnership on that particular aspect? Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Chair, and greetings to the members in the committee, and thank the officials for the presentation they've done to us today. In welcoming it, I have a question and also a concern that I want to raise with them, that there has been cries out there in South Africa around the issue of foreign nationals benefiting in projects of government. Now, I want to check with them, what assurance can they give us as this committee in terms of local benefit to the community of the sports, whether it's Noloth, St. John's, or Shepstone, including the businesses that are out there economically, and these developments that have been mentioned with the huge budgets that are suggested here. And I think with us recently coming from Port St. John's, I would then want to do that visit as a case in point, because we have witnessed there that there is poverty, there is a hunger for this sport to be developed and operational. And I think we felt the need that that process or that project to be speed up, so that they can start to develop and also be beneficiaries. So I would want then to check whether has there been any record of where they have started to do the developments or the repairs and maintenance, and the focus that they have been doing, which was predominantly in the Western Cape, that there has not been that challenge. If there was, how did they deal with that? And for these ones, how would they ensure that South Africans are the ones that would be benefiting more in terms of that? And I would want to also align myself with the issue of them giving us time frames, and that we as the committee would be able to monitor and follow a progress of this, so that we ensure implementation as we have promised the people of Port St. John's. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Makasi. But then I think the last one will be
Mahlangu, I
Mfa.
think, Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Mine's a very quick one. When we went to the Eastern Cape and we received the presentation on the Port St. John's small harbour, I believe at that point in time, Chair, there was a report that was going to be submitted to the department around the feasibility of what is proposed there, and that was to be submitted. I think we were there in March, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of March. Chair, I think it'll be very beneficial for us as a committee to be able to have a look at what that report says and what that report looks like. So with your indulgence, Chair, I'd like to request or recommend that the department, if it is in possession of that feasibility study, that it be shared with the portfolio committee, so that we can learn from that feasibility study, because of course there's many other harbours that are receiving the same attention. So yeah, that's just the request from our side, Chair. Thank you.
Mahlangu, this, I think Kobe and Mahlangu will be the last one. Dlalange, can you assist? I won't log out, but I think I'm starting to experience a bit of a challenge with my health. Zels, can you take it after this hands? The last hand is for Mahlangu.
Thank you, sir.
Mahlangu and Kobe, Kulman Pel.
Thank you very much. I thought it was the chair said Kobe starting, but I
Okay,
will.
I'm here. I'll start. Thank you, Askis Matlangu. So sorry. Sorry about that. All right. So I just need to know. In the presentation, it says that over 100 SMMEs will have been empowered, to participate in this to the tune of 137 million. I'd just like to know maybe if we can have a breakdown of the demographics of these SMMEs, especially as it relates to the youth, the young people, and also maybe if we can have an indication of how they will be participating, as it maybe in terms of short-term and long-term participation. This is a huge project, and it's not only just going to be the design and the implementation of it, but the long-term maintenance of it. Does the department have any plans of including local businesses to ensure that the long-term maintenance of this is carried out by local businesses and does not necessarily have to be the work of the national department? I think that speaks to long-term empowerment of communities, and not just come in and do the work and then leave. Also, I see that the project said on one of the slides, it said that the project is anticipated to be completed of the tier 2 Harbours. It's anticipated to be completed by August 2025, because you've given 3 months to preliminary assessments, a month to consultation, and 8 months for the detailed planning and concept. Please take us through that, because the numbers, when I try and count the months, I know that they're not going to be it won't be concurrent. So how do we plan on completing by this year, August 2025, when we still have 3 months of preliminary assessments, 8 months of detailed planning and consultation? And also, I asked this question, I think, on our last oversight when we were in Port St. John's, to ask about the stakeholder partnerships, especially as it relates to institutions of higher learning, that how many institutions of higher learning are involved in this, in terms of finding employment or young people that can participate in learnerships in this program, just for the purposes of local empowerment. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to everyone. Let us acknowledge the presentation from the department. I have at least 1 or 2 questions that I want to pose. Chair, the first one, I think almost Honorable Koba has touched it. But in addition, I want to check whether the department has prepared the community in a sense of opportunities that are coming. To say we are going to need how many operators, we are going to need how many businesses, we are going to need so let us develop programs to train these people. So we will avoid a thing of going outside to fetch people who are coming from outside. So I want to check whether there are programs that are specifically for that. And the second part, I want a breakdown, Chair, on the SMMEs that have been benefited. Where I want to check of foreign nationals, how many that are owned by foreign nationals and how many that are owned by South Africans. And also I want to check on how many on employments were created, how many are South Africans and how many are foreign nationals. So I also need that breakdown, because in the high rate of unemployment in a society like ours, I don't think it's proper that to employ a cleaner from as a foreign national or is a scarce skill. I don't even think is a scarce skill. I just need that breakdown. And then another question, Chair, that I want to ask is in terms of the limited budget, whether is there any guarantee that the plan to develop a business case to obtain funding under the budget facility for infrastructure will yield the result required. And in the case that there is no funding for BFI, what are other alternatives measures to get this funding? Thank you very much.
No, thank you so much. Honorable Masango was the last honorable member. Then I'm giving to the department for responses. How about you, department?
Thank you, Chair, and also to the members for raising these questions. We will split the questions amongst ourselves and respond starting with Ms. Kafile, and then followed by Ms. Munama, and then also by Mr. Kupela. Then I'll close, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the honorable members for the questions. I will start with the issue that a number of members have raised around funding. Yes, we are working on the funding issues, but for us to correctly do this, we have embarked on a model that will consolidate the needs from ourselves, from the local municipality and the provincial government. So we are all working on the submission at one time. This is to avoid multiple applications coming through for the very same thing. So we have started with engagements in the Eastern Cape, focusing on the Port St. John's area, to look at the packaging and the business case for the funding model. Though we can't guarantee what the response will be from a BFI perspective, but because this is a project that is a priority and it's part of Operation Phakisa, I think it will receive the necessary support from the National Treasury. Another question that has been asked is around the involvement of local communities and not just for the benefit of private capital. We started, when we received the SCDFs, we went to
Your person disappeared.
ensure that the locals are up to date with everything that is happening within the program. So for the Port St. John's area, we've already started that program as led by the Deputy Minister. I think we went there about a month ago to have that engagement. So that is an engagement that is going to be continuous across all these provinces and projects to ensure that the center is community engagement. Chair, even with the previous work that was done, if you were to go to Hout Bay, for instance, there's a strong local community involvement that they have there. So it's quite important for us to maintain all of that. We are also honorable members. Honorable Zelanga asked about the alignment with the IDPs. Yes, that is taken into consideration as we do this work. We don't work outside of what the local plans are and what the province is also planning for the area, so that all our plans are in sync and we can then achieve the maximum benefit from the harbours that are being developed. We are going to provide the reports. A number of members have requested breakdown of information. That information will be provided to the committee. Chairperson, Honorable Gama has also alluded to the designation of a Port Nolot. Yes, it was previously proclaimed as a commercial. Part of the work that we are doing now is to then have a proclamation of a small harbour. Because the primary focus for us, honourable members, Firstly, is to get the small fishermen benefiting, small local fishermen, even prior to the big private capital. Hence, we are seeing that at the early stages, we are trying to upgrade the existing infrastructure so that the local communities are able to extract benefit first prior to even the larger developments that will take us more than 5 years to go. So the program is a phased approach so that in 3 years you have the fishermen, small-scale fishermen, able to operate on the harbours while we are still continuing with the bigger plans to have the harbours quite commercially active and bringing us the necessary revenue that we are looking at. Chairperson, I think I will hand over to my other colleagues to continue with the rest of the questions.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's continue.
Okay. Morning, Chairperson and honorable members. My name is Mantekeleng Monama from the Small Harbours Unit. I'll try to respond to the questions that were posed. Okay. Greetings, Honorable Chairperson and honorable members. My name is Mantekeleng Monama from the Small Harbours Unit. I'm just going through the questions that were posed. The first question, in terms of from Honorable Reddy, relates to real oversight versus real progress. As the committee, you'd need to verify that. Indeed, I think it will be dependent on the portfolio committee on how they want to take this process forward. And in terms of the issue of implementation delays and funding delays, indeed, if you look at several slides, in terms of Port St. John, you would have on slide 9, and it indicates the time frame. Of course, it just says year 1, year 2, and honorable members have indicated that we need to indicate the years. I agree with that. So in terms of phase 1, what we're doing, because the SCDF has been completed for Port St. John, Port Shepstone, Port St. John and Port Noloth. Port Shepstone. No, not Port Shepstone. Yeah, and Port Shepstone. Yeah. So what we have now, we're going to start with the feasibility studies, which looks at the SCDF, honorable members, is not the same as the feasibility studies. The feasibility studies are more detailed. They look at the waves of the sea. They look at the traffic impact, because if you look at slide 9, for example, for Port St. John, where you were, honorable members, what we're going to do, feasibility and promulgation in terms of year 1 to 2. So these are the studies that we're going to do from 2025 to 2027. And thereafter, we start with phase 1, which is making sure that the harbour is accessible. How are we going to do that? It's through the rehabilitation of slipway. And as you are aware, members, probably, unfortunately, I could not get the flight to come during the portfolio committee. You saw a slipway that needs to be repaired. So our deputy minister said, your implementation plan, I hear it, but I really we don't want to see papers. And I think most members said that in different language. So he said, don't use the waterfall system for me. You can use some things in conjunction. So phase 0 and phase 1, they are some of the things that can be done simultaneously so that you don't have to go to another administration where there is nothing. So our DM really emphasized that yes, it's phase 0, phase 1, phase 2, up to phase 3, but we need to make sure that in terms like for basic assessment reports, we can use that. But in terms of EIA, then we'll look at other issues but we can do other things under phase 1 from what we have. And in terms of neglecting 3 provinces, that has other 3 coastal provinces, which is KZN, Northern Cape and Eastern Cape. That has been a historical issue, chairperson and members, and indeed cabinet in 2014 agreed to that. Hence they said you need an oceans economy that would unlock all the obstacles in terms of creating jobs, in terms of investment. So we've started with a small Harbours lab in 2018. That's why the SEDFs came through. Indeed, there was a focus on Western Cape, unlike the other 3 provinces. And this cabinet of 2014 indicated to the department and other departments, because oceans economy, we are supporting as public works, but it's run from DFFE in the main. And then it is important to turn frameworks into foundation. Agreed, honorable member, and that is what our DM actually said, to say, no, don't speak a lot of plans. Speak of implementation. We need, when we go to the community, to say, this is what we're going to do. So indeed, we agree in terms of turning the frameworks into foundation. And Honorable Marais, in terms of the removal of sunken vessel on slide 22, indeed 5 were removed in Saldanha. However, because of the sand, some, it's an ongoing process, and it takes a lot of effort and money, and the DFFE, who are responsible as the harbor masters, they are responsible for that. We were assisting in terms of removing the sunken vessels based on the repair and maintenance program that ended in 2023. We have handed over the harbor to the harbor master, which is DFFE, in terms of the ICMA Act. And what is that? Okay, the issue of the damage, yes, indeed, of Sea Harvest, the quay is damaged, and the region and my DDG, Ms. Kafile, they are busy with working the model, which will be beneficial to both Sea Harvest, which employs a lot of people, and the department in terms of repairing that quay. However, that quay was damaged from Sea Harvest, so we are working on that model. And then Honorable Dlelanga, what is the plan to deal with the political institution and institutional plan to ensure that there's no delay? Apologies. In addition to what the DTG referred to, we have what we call the implementation protocol in order to ensure that there's policy alignment and synchronization from local to provincial and to national. As you're aware that the nature of the harbor in terms of the constitution anyway, the authority is that in terms of the constitution is that of the local authority, but we are working with them. I even drafted that particular implementation protocol. I said, we are not usurping the power of a local authority. We can give you this implementation protocol. So we are working together with different municipalities. We have what we call the Harbour Steering Committee, so that we are dealing with all 3 spheres of government in terms of that. And we've taken into account, if you look at our presentation, in terms of the SCTF. SCTF comprises of a suite of documents. Amongst them is the legal framework, is the policy document, and the assessment report. So what we did in terms of that, we looked at what does the municipality have currently. For example, Port St. John, they had their own study as well, chairperson and members, and we took that into account when the SCTF was formulated. So when we sent the SCTF, which have been completed, you'll see that it's a suite of documents. It's made up of suite of documents. It looked even at the socioeconomic issues. It looked at the financial issues that members have been asking about to say, yes, in terms of the investment, what are we saying? How much are we going to contribute from the private sector perspective, and what can and from the government perspective? So that is covered in the suite of documents, but it's one consolidated, but you'll see that it comprises of different suite of documents. And Honorable Letlape spoke of, she's worried about implementation in terms of financial years. Indeed, I think probably an oversight from our side, chairperson and members, and all members, I think, raised the issue of timeframes. I think when we say year one, year two, it's after the SCTF. Therefore, it would be from 2025, 2026. Probably we should have written the years inside the columns instead of saying year one, year two. So that is taken. We'll deal with that, chairperson and members. And then the issue of 925 jobs, only females, is worrisome. Agreed, chairperson and members. Indeed, it was based on, I'm one of the people that raised this issue as well when I started the Small Harbours late 2023, but it was almost complete. So they said it's based on the nature of the work because it was mainly physical. It involved dredging, and so that's, and there's civil, but I said there are so many engineers that I know that are women. In terms of civil and electrical, there are women that can do that. And it seems as if most women got that type of job in terms of electrical and in terms of cleaning. But the heavy physical, the issue of construction, and I said I saw some women building. So yeah, we are working on that. In future, yes, this, I think it was an oversight in order to ensure that in all spheres of trade, women must be involved. I agree with that as a woman as well. And then what is the time frame of, okay, I've dealt with that in principle. The issue of Honorable Gama in terms of Port North, indeed, it's still under, it will always be under TNPA because it's proclaimed in that way. However, we met with TNPA, not the entire Port North, but we need the proclamation of some part of it in order to ensure that the fishing community can be able to access that, and in order to ensure that the ecosystem benefits everyone. And TNPA, Honorable Chair, they were very welcoming, and indeed we are on that process since the SCTFs were done in terms of Port North. And we are aware that there are some of the issues that we can't do as public works. It's the mandate of TNPA in terms of managing navigational aspects, including channels and lighthouse. We can't do that. Ourselves and DFFE, we will be responsible for the land side assets, and DFFE will be responsible for the water side activities. So that's why I'm saying the implementation protocol, which gives us different roles and responsibilities from different parties, it will assist, because we did that for Western Cape. So now we have to cascade that, since the SCDFs are done, for all the other 3 coastal provinces as well. What's the other? The issue from Honorable Makasi in terms of foreign nationals benefiting from government in terms of the repair and maintenance program. Honorable Member, I'm not aware of any, but we will verify whether in the 925 jobs that were created, were there any foreign nationals? I'm not aware of any. However, indeed, we take what you're saying into heart, that in future, especially in terms of the 3 coastal provinces, we must look into those things. And then, Honorable Bath, in terms of the report, indeed, the report is done. We will submit the SCDF, as DTG has said, will submit all the 3 SCDF, not only for Port St. John, but all the SCDFs that are done, which are 3. And Honorable Kobe, the breakdown, the 100 SMMEs and the contribution of 137 million. I do not have the breakdown. They have participated. It was done already. We'll find out the breakdown, and we will submit to the portfolio committee. And then on whether we will meet our target in terms of tier 2, because we say August. Indeed, Honorable Chairperson and members, we will meet the target, because, as I've indicated, the SCDF comprises of a suite of documents. 1, the assessment report, 2, policy report, legal report, socioeconomic report, option analysis. Those are done already. We have those. So what is outstanding now is the financial analysis, which looks at the forecasting and the issue of the socioeconomic. So that would take about 2 months as well, and we still have a further engagement with the stakeholders. So the deadline, Chairperson, that would be met or on the tier 2 sites, because 60 or 70% has been done in terms of the documents that are required. And then the issue of China, it's not the triple PPP. It was meant to be an in-kind grant of 254 million. And the areas that they were looking at is the tier 1 sites, the areas that we say we have the SEDF. So the challenge was that National Treasury, in terms of the letter of exchange that the Chinese had written, had indicated that, but what are we waiving? We cannot just waive equipment. Can we have a detailed list of the equipment that the Chinese want to bring in terms of the feasibility studies? And the Chinese, they've brought that. I think they're still scrutinizing what does South Africa have, what don't we have, what can they bring, and what can they bring. And the other issues in which was delaying in terms of the issue of the Chinese, it's we wanted to find out how many people and what skills do they have, because members have raised this in different forums. Even our deputy minister raised that, to say, Mamnama, you can't get a cleaner to come, whereas we have a huge unemployment. So we need to know the technical expertise that they're coming with. And then we requested that. They gave us a list. And yeah, that the other issue that was a little bit difficult is the issue of they wanted the subs police to like to have protectors wherever they were going. And we said that is not, SAPS does not have that capacity. Even for our executive authorities, sometimes they cannot provide them that service when they are in different provinces. So we are still waiting for their input in terms of that. And then Honorable Mahlangu, are they owned by, now I can't see my writing, are they owned? Huh?
Businesses owned by foreign nationals.
The 137. Okay, we will provide the list, but as far as I know, there was none. However, I'm subject to confirmation. What if there's one that benefited and I say they did not benefit? So we'll provide that detail. And yeah, over to you, Mr. K.
Okay. Chairperson and honorable members, good afternoon. Nkosana Kupeka. I will deal with some of the questions. I can confirm, Honorable Reddy, that in the bid document for the transactional advisor, we had put the issue on the SMME beneficiaries. So it is part of the requirements, so that as we establish and any work that is going to happen in these areas, there has to be local beneficiation. It's infused in the specification. The second part, I wanted to indicate that as we implement the state asset optimization program, there is a new Treasury Regulation 16 that requires certain things to the accounting officer, and we are establishing a PPP unit in the department that is going to implement that regulation that is coming into effect from 1 June 2025. And these are the issues that members are raising on the financial close, on the options. They will be presented to the unit coming from the TAs. The timeframes are just to share with the members for the appointment of the TAs as the DDG presented. We are closing the bids for the TAs end of May. We will then deal with evaluation in June, and then we want to award the TAs in July and clarify the scope per cluster that we have appointed. And how we have put the bid is that some of the activities will have to be fast-tracked. So all the priority areas, including the small harbors, are going to be fast-tracked as part of the work that will be done by TAs. More so that some of the information that the transactional advisors will have to produce is already covered in the SEDFs. So they will not be starting afresh in terms of that particular, but the financial close, Honorable Gama, will be done in the next year after we have received the proposals, which the TAs are going to be managing, and we will share the timelines with honorable members. Honorable Murray, indeed the slipway for Saldanha was increased from 600 to 1,200 tonnage. As a result now, some of the bigger vessels are no longer going to Cape Town, but they are docking El Saldanha, and the repairs are actually happening in Saldanha, which is also part of the job creation as part of the money that we've spent. We had taken a view, honorable members, that given that the repair and refurbishment program of the 501 million focused on Western Cape, we will not be spending more money in Western Cape, but the money that we have will be channeled towards all the development and the planning of the other three coastal provinces. Yes, we are partnering with the DFFE. I think Honorable Litlape raised the question. We are partnering with DFFE. DFFE is the one that provides licensing for the users. and then they manage the harbors as Advocate Mantakeleng has indicated. So in each harbor, DFFE staffing will consist of a harbor master, as well as the compliance officers that check the compliance issues within each harbor. I think part of the beneficiation which we have shared, Chairperson, was how we trained the divers, and the divers, we gave them to DFFE to say, when you are removing sunken vessel, you already have a resource that will help you. But in phase 1, we had removed those sunken vessels, but going forward, it is your responsibility as DFFE, and here are the divers that we have trained that will assist you in delivering that particular mandate. And I think Advocate Munama indicated that how we have put activities for the 3 coastal. For an example, at Port St. John's, there is a small slipway, which is a launch pad. Any funding that we'll get internally can be utilized to upgrade that particular slipway, so that when we go to market, we will then exclude that particular area on the bid that will go for the full optimization of the harbor. The principle that we have taken, honorable members, is that every fishing harbor will be a multi-use facility. It will have a component. That's why in the presentation you see their precincts. There will be a precinct for small-scale fishing. There'll be a precinct for business, including local business. There will be a precinct for community development areas, like tourism things for communities to display, beadwork, and all those things. So each harbor will be a multi-use, and then in some of the harbors we'll have mixed-use accommodation facilities for tourists and for people that will also be working in some of these particular harbors. So I think I just wanted to add that in terms of, because we are working together with DFFE, and the key here, as DDG has indicated, once we unlock the proclamation, the rest of the activities can then be fast-tracked and be moved in terms of how we have planned the rollout of the harbors. With that, I will hand over to the DG, as we have concluded from our side as the team, Honorable Chair and members. Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Chair. I think that brings us to the responses, but Chair, suffice to say as well that, and I think the question around the breakdown of the jobs that were created, as using this as a statistical yardstick and ex post information, I think what we're also looking into, considering the physical nature of the jobs, notwithstanding the fact that on the part of women, they cannot do that work. But what we are taking lessons from this process is that going forward, it basically sends a message on the department to partner with the community, with other stakeholders, where we then bring in that kind of awareness and to bring that appetite in the communities for them to participate fully. And we're hoping that also lessons that we've learned from the proclaimed harbors, we will also explore those issues. And I think it is an intention on our part towards the transformation agenda to really see these figures improving and tilt the balance of scales towards ensuring that there's equity as well as addressing the socio-economic and the local environment. So I think we will put a program together on how we create that awareness, whether it's hand-holding, whether it's different programs that can be put across, as well as ensuring that the skill set that then is acquired is also a sustainable skill that will improve the local economy. I think those are the lessons that we're learning from those. Chair and honorable members, with that, we then hand it over to you, Chair, for further guidance. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Acting DG. Honorable members, any follow-up? I will request that if there is, you just say it on the, don't raise your hands.
Acting Chair, if I could go first very quickly.
Okay.
It's Edwin speaking. Chair, just in the spirit of how the meeting began and us acknowledging that we need clear resolutions and timeframes, could I request the department to indicate by when they will send the reports and the feasibility studies as mentioned through to the committee? That is my request, Acting Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other members?
Yes, Chair. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just in terms of capacity building for these programs and the whole notion of skills, if you can also speak with the CSIR, especially in this area of coastal engineering, I think if you could, invest over the next 6 to 8 years in people from the different communities to go and study coastal engineering and then come back and manage some of these harbors. It would be a very good thing because they will learn about coastal engineering, geotechnical studies, dredging, and all of those things, which I think are quite critical going forward. And if you get local people in those harbors, they can then come back to the communities there and actually add value. Thank you very much.
Chair.
Yes, and the last one.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Just to reiterate what Honorable Gama has said, and I think it is one of the questions that was not answered from the department's end, to when I asked about their partnerships with institutions of higher learning in the area within these coastal provinces and towns, that if there was a consultation within those institutions where you really get the skills and the talent, and you extend learnerships to the learners who are currently studying in these various fields. And also, I think that would also assist in terms of equitable employment for females, because you are finding them within an institution and not necessarily waiting to see what kind of applications you would get. So if you could sort of go and harvest the talent where it is, you would be able to then to really equitably fill up those spots where we find the satisfaction in, especially within local communities. Thank you.
Thank you, honored members. Acting DG, can you respond to those two follow-ups and the request?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, let me start with the follow-up. In terms of the SD, the frameworks will process those. Can we
Acting DG, I think you're breaking up, unless it's me. He's gone.
Sorry, Chair, what's audible?
I'm not the chair, but you were just breaking up there, Acting DG.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you very well.
Yes, thanks, Chair. I was saying that we will, on the frameworks, we will package the frameworks, and then we are committing to submit and provide the committee by this Friday, the 16th of May, if that's fine with the Chair and members. And then on the capacity issue, I think we welcome the advice also from Mr. Kama, as well as the question that was raised also by Honorable Gobe. I think what we omitted in the process in terms of partnership and collaboration with other stakeholders, we do have a collaboration and partnership with the South African Institute of Maritime Studies, which also will take us a long way in terms of ensuring that we build that capacity and the skill set that will be required. But it doesn't stop us from there. We'll also explore others. CSIR has been suggested in terms of maritime coastal engineering, but we'll also explore other areas as well. Institute of High Learning, the CETAs, our councils and professions, as a way of building that skill, the future skill that will be required to manage this going forward. We appreciate those inputs. Thanks, Chair.
No, thank you so much. Honourable members, we've got 2 items remaining. The report, visit report to Eastern Cape, as well as the minutes. I want to propose, given the time and that we have to be on other assignments now, that we defer those 2 reports for the next sitting. That's my proposal. Over to you, honourable members.
Chair.
Yes, can come.
No, I just wanted to check because how we usually do it, we don't really go through the report and the minutes because these are ours and we've had them for the longest time. My proposal would be different to the chair's one, that maybe just present it and say the report of the oversight and then whether we agree or not, and then the minutes as well, instead of just referring something that doesn't take 5 minutes for it to be adopted. Thanks.
Thank you so much for such a progressive advice. Other members, Knowles, can you just present them?
All right, let me quickly share it, Chair. Honorable Chairperson, this is the report of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure on an oversight visit to the Eastern Cape. The reason why the date would not have been placed there is that we're waiting on the adoption. So the report then will take today's date if adopted today. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. That'll be it for the report, as per the proposal from Honorable Letlhakane.
No, are you done?
Yes, about the report, Chair, because we need to adopt them differently to the minutes. Thanks,
Okay,
Chair.
we need the move and the second, all of members. Those who are present.
Chair, can I kindly
Yes.
request that that she goes through it, that Nola goes through it, even if it's just highlights. It can't be there's the report. Do we agree or not?
Okay, now we take us back. It's fine. And Nance, just speak to it, Nance.
Chair, please excuse me. I'm in a noisy environment. I already reported that I'm traveling, so I'll try to just quickly run through it. I'm not sure if there's no feedback behind me.
Okay, move. That's what you want.
Am I thoroughly audible, Chair?
You are totally audible.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The Portfolio Committee then undertook an oversight visit to the OR Tambo district in the Eastern Cape from the 25th to the 27th of March. The attendance of the members, there were 10 members that are in attendance, apart from the chairperson, so almost the full complement of the committee was there. In terms of committee support, it was myself and Ms. Letlhakane.
There were also delegates from the Department of Defense, National and Provincial Departments of Public Works and Infrastructure, Provincial Department of Human Settlements, Transport. The Premier's Infrastructure Coordinating Committee was also represented, Agrimo SA or Tambo District Municipality, Port St. John's, Imuza Hill, and KSD. Officials were also in attendance. Chair, I'm not going to go through the introduction and the mandates and the functions because that we already know. I'll just zoom into day one of the visits. Apologies, Chair. So on this day, the committee visited Port St. John's local municipality where it received presentations on the small harbour development progress reports and integrated support for use of Agrimo SA certified innovative products. Chair, after the presentations, the committee then proceeded and did an oversight, site visits in a couple of areas, 3 of them. One was in Maheng, which was part of the human settlements projects, which was, I think, implemented with the municipality. And then the next one was the pont site that is owned by the department. It's basically a state land parcel, where the committee then made recommendations for the tenant that was there who was refusing to be moved anywhere because he had no title deed. Then the committee recommended that the tenant could be moved because the departments, both human settlements and public works and infrastructure, seemed to be unable to get the tenant moving. So as one of those highlights, Honorable Chairperson, is that after the committee then recommended the business that was in operation there on that state land parcel was then shut down. We have not yet received a formal indication from the department stating that the lease has been terminated. Oh, well, there's no lease, by the way, but we just know that the department, we found out on our own that the business that was there has been shut down. So we're just waiting on the department to then confirm in terms of whether there was enforcement of the eviction notice. Chair, we also on the same day went through to an area within Port St. John's where there were houses that were built utilizing Agrimo SA products, and I think it was a pilot project, as the department had said, where there were defects and all of those things. But the committee then deliberated on those and moved right along. Chair, if I can go through, I'm not going to get into deep details because the details, as Honorable Itape has said, are already in the actual report. Apologies, Chair. They're already in the actual report, and the members would have had time to go through them because these were sent earlier on. Then, Honorable Chair, on day 2, just trying to run swiftly through to this. On day 2, the committee visited Imuza Hill in Lusikisiki. So, Chair, maybe what I forgot to indicate is that the program had themes for each and every day. Please excuse me, Chair, I'm not well, as I said. So the first day theme was Agrimo SA and small harbours, and then the day 2 theme was when the seas were bridges. So on that second day, then the committee went through to Imuza Hill Municipality, where we went to visit a site in Boki after the presentation was done. That's where many issues were dealt with, and that's where the Eastern Cape Premier's Infrastructure Coordinating Committee was also represented, and there were issues that were coughed out there, which were also responded to by the department. Moving to day 3, Honorable Chair. So on this one, the committee focused on the KSD municipality, looking into construction projects that are related to the EPWP in the main. So the main theme for this day was the EPWP and its utilization and its implementation at a municipal level, local municipal level. So the committee there visited the Mthatha Magistrate Court because there was an upgrade project that was reported by the department, and also Then the site visit was also done. There was a project where EPWP beneficiaries were appointed as sort of like a job creation opportunity. We also got reports that they get paid monthly at a specific scale.
Sorry to interject, Chair. Can we release the officials from the department so they can go back to work?
Thank you for that intervention. It's fine. We can release them. But the one from the ministry, if he's around, they can remain. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. Bye.
All right, thanks, Chair. As I proceed, so the project that was visited in the main, it was for sidewalks, paving, and city beautification within the city of Mthatha. So, Chair, there's observations that are also listed, stemming from the actual site visits as well as the presentations that were received, and thereafter there were issues that are also referred to other portfolio committees. For instance, there's portfolio committee on human settlements. We thought then we would refer the issue of Maheng village because it was a human settlements project. Then, Chair, as part of our proposed recommendations, which is why the report had to come to the committee so that the committee can further indicate whether there should be any amendments to the recommendations or they're adopting the recommendations as they are. So the committee would then like to propose that or rather recommend to the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure and ensure that he prioritizes the PSJ Small Harbour Development as a means to a rollout of the country's Small Harbour Development Program, so that the inequality in this regard can be reversed within project timeframes. The Minister ensures that ongoing monitoring of innovative products used at every phase of construction by Agrima SA, rather than only focusing on post-quality monitoring at the end of the construction. The Minister should ensure that the court eviction orders on all occupants that are illegally occupying state immovable assets must be served. A case in point is the Point Resort in Port St. John's that must be served and instituted within 14 days after the visit. And the Minister should submit a report on Operation Bring Back and all state immovable assets that have been recovered from hijacking and illegal occupation within 30 days of the visit. So here, Chair, 7.4 would then be effected as soon as the report has been adopted, because then that's only when the report will be tabled to the House and the Minister will then have a view of it. On 7.5, so the Minister should also expedite the handing over of the completed releases of bridges to all municipalities by June 2025, because the committee learned that out of a whole range of bridges that are completed, but they had not been thoroughly handed over, even though to communities and municipalities, even though communities would have started utilizing those bridges either way. So the Minister should also provide a detailed report on all releases of bridges that were constructed in the Eastern Cape during the second term of 2025. They must also ensure that deep galvanizing steel for construction of all Bailey bridges is utilized, because the material is more durable and needs no further painting, which talks to lower maintenance. The Kwaga Bridge in Tabangulu is one example that has been used as a pilot where galvanized steel was utilized, and it has been proven that it's working. The Minister will then ensure that the CPM branch, Construction Project Management branch, clearly stipulates and signs off scope of works with clients before works could commence, so that additional works that lead to increase in project funding due to delays in completion can be eradicated. Further, the Minister should submit a report of the Mthatha Magistrate Court upgrade project and a status update regarding the Mthatha Judicial Precinct within 14 days of receipt of this report. The minister should also ensure better coordination of EPWP in all spheres of government so that more employment creation opportunities could be realized. And lastly, Honorable Chair, the committee wants the minister to ensure that the process of integrating EPWP beneficiaries into government departments is prioritized within the 2025-26 financial year, so that the EPWP can possibly be utilized as a government employment agency that would have a pool of skilled professionals that have experience as required in specific fields of work. I would like to table the report to the committee for consideration and adoption, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Honourable members, it's your turn, your first edition. Then you can move for the adoption. I don't see your hands, honourable members. Are we still together?
Chair, my hand is up.
I suggest that, comrades, honourable members, you follow the suit as Honourable Masang, over to you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I propose the adoption of the report as presented. Thank you very much.
Any second, honourable members?
Chair, we are not comrades, but yes, there's a second. I
Sorry for
second it.
that.
Thank you.
Honourable member.
Chair, before we move on, I just want to check. The report has 2 points under recommendations. Am I audible, Chair?
You're not audible, and there is something that is disturbing you.
Okay, no, it's fine. I'll write it. I'll make a written submission.
No, thank you so much for that understanding. Okay. Can we move to the minutes? And there is a noise that is disturbing us. Hello? Nance, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I was just waiting for your guidance, Chair.
Yeah, let's move to the minutes because I'm beginning to see that there are things that are disturbing us now.
All right, thank you, Chair. I would like to now move to the draft minutes of the meeting that was held on the 12th of March, 2025. This was a hybrid meeting. Some members were in attendance physically and some on the virtual platform. And that is the attendance register for the day. And then we move straight to the resolution, Honorable Chair. So there are 2 resolutions, and the committee resolved that the minister must strengthen communication with the portfolio committee, especially pertaining to operational events like handing over of land parcels to communities and all of that, so that most of the programs implemented by the department can be properly supported and monitored. Responses to questions that could not be answered during the session would have then had to be submitted in writing within 7 working days. And Chair, we have not, going back to what the committee was talking about earlier on, rather was discussing earlier on regarding the thorough follow-up on responses. So we have not yet received any of these responses. So what we'll do, Chair, just briefly, we've got a resolutions tracker. So what we'll do is just to keep implementing the resolution of the committee that was taken earlier in terms of sharing it weekly on a weekly basis after every other meeting, so that then it can be discussed and the progress thereof can be monitored in each and every meeting of the committee. If there's no meeting that sits, we'll disseminate it via email either way, or with the WhatsApp group, through the WhatsApp group that we usually utilize. Thank you, Chair. I'll pause it there.
Honourable members, here are your minutes. Any mover, any input, mover and seconder. you still there, honorable members, or am I alone?
I see corner. Some of us can't help you. We were not at the meeting.
Yeah, niyafana nam. Masangu.
I'm here. I move with the adoption of the minutes as presented.
Yeah, honorable members, any seconder?
So
I second, Chair.
No, thank you so much, honorable members. And let me first wish Chair that he can be strong. And he was with us up until the meeting is being adjourned now. And also, thank you to all the honorable members who managed to be part of our meeting today.
Thank you. Thank you, Acting Chair. Thank you.
Learned one or two on how moving forward we can handle our meeting. See you in the plenary.
Chair,
yes.
Chairperson.
Yes.
Chairperson, there's a last set of minutes for the 19th of March that must still go through before you close.
I'm sorry for that. Notes comes in. I can see that over to you, Notes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just briefly, on the 19th of March, it was also a hybrid meeting. It was an IDT follow-up meeting because of the resolution that was taken previously. And then there was also supposed to be consideration and adoption of minutes, which did not take place, which is why we are today adopting two sets of minutes. Chair, I just want to go quickly to the resolutions. There were also two resolutions on the day that joint meetings must be held with all relevant portfolio committees that were in the affected departments so that the issue of funds owed and project backlog can be adequately addressed. The last one was that the meeting would have then been reconvened at a later stage for further engagement and clarity, including responses to questions that were asked. And I think from the MENCO side, there's been a proposal that a meeting must quickly, urgently take place regarding the IDT because of this resolution. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, honorable members, this is the last set of our minutes.
Chair, I move for the adoption of.
I second, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, honorable members, for that. I already made some closing. However, if the chair is able to say anything, it's her time to close the meeting. Okay. Honorable members, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.